Hey guys, Gary the Gremlin here, but I can't deal with that now because today we're looking at one of the most exciting Jurassic World Rebirth figures. A dinosaur that didn't even appear in the movie, you know it, the Mattel Wild Roar Utahraptor. He comes in this nice Rebirth box, and with the orange and brown of the figure plus the black and red of the box, it gives this really autumnal vibe. Man, I cannot wait for the temperatures to drop and for the weather to be pleasant again. It has been 100 for the last week where I live. Opening up the box is easy enough, and look at this amazing little birdie. This is an absolutely lovely looking toy and a really big highlight from the Jurassic World Mattel mainline from this year. Now, my subscribers should be aware, I haven't really kept up with the Jurassic mainline since 2019. It wasn't an intentional, oh, these toys suck kind of thing, it's just that I sort of always lose interest whenever the toy line has to fall back to non-canon dinosaurs. I have nothing against these toy line only off-screen dinos personally, don't get me wrong there, but without some sort of flagship media, i.e. a Jurassic World Rebirth, it's just not quite the same. Now recently, the sheer size and power of the tail-thrashing Spinosaurus and the movie tie-in infamy of the Rumble and Rampage Distortus Rex both drew me back into buying these mainline toys. I've got my sights set on further movie star dinosaurs I'd love to get my hands on, but in the meantime, I happened to see one very interesting dinosaur on store shelves. Yes, put them hands together and give a warm welcome today to the Wild Roar Utahraptor from the Jurassic World Mattel Rebirth line. As I just explained, I really hadn't kept up with all the species included in the main line, and I was beyond shocked to realize that this is the first time Mattel has ventured forth to tackle one of the most famous dromaeosaurs of all time in toy form. It took them long enough. Kenner was making their toy of this genus less than a year after the species was named. I'm not even kidding. Utahraptor was discovered while they were making the first Jurassic Park, and then Kenner immediately put it in the line, in only the second wave. Pre-Lost World, pre-anything, boom, instant Utahraptor. That OG toy is pretty much just an upscaled version of the Jurassic Park Velociraptor, so it's really refreshing to see the ways that Mattel has designed this new version to distinguish it from what came before. Here we get to the infamous Jurassic Park Raptor problem. Yeah, it was destined we would talk about this at some point. I can't believe I haven't yet on the channel. Thing is, I feel like it's almost worth not even discussing. Anyone who knows anything knows that the Jurassic Park Velociraptor is just a name swap. Everyone's heard the tale of the famous mix-up. The real Velociraptor was a 2-foot-tall turkey-like dinosaur, and the Jurassic Park Velociraptors are essentially just based on the large and powerful Utahraptor. Except, I think most people have it wrong. No doubt many of you know that the sentence I just said before this one was completely wrong and likely started to write a comment already. That was called misdirection, babe. Screenwriting 101. The actual truth is this. No one even knew Utahraptor existed while they were making the first movie. Utahraptor as a species was not named until 1993, the same year Jurassic Park was released. The Jurassic Park Velociraptor, as written by Michael Crichton in the novel the movie was based on Deinonychus, which was in itself not much bigger than a turkey, but seemed a more vicious predator than Velociraptor. The real Velociraptor, as everyone on Earth and their mom seems to know by now, was a small predator from Mongolia, which while still likely a great hunter, was not exactly a vicious man-killer. Michael Crichton, being the genius he was, recognized that Velociraptor is a name both more iconic and easier to spell than Deinonychus, and he swapped the names. He also then doubled the size and intelligence of Deinonychus, made this fictitious dinosaur native to Montana, and boom. Jurassic Park's Velociraptor. More and more these days, I hear people incorrectly share that false fact I said earlier. The incorrect notion that the JP Raptor is just a ute. This whole paleontological bastardization of dinosaurs' names is all very confusing, and I don't blame anyone for getting it mixed up. The amazing thing here that I want to point out is the insane serendipity that happened. Crichton wanted a beefier, scarier dromaeosaur that lived in Montana, so he invented one. Just by chance, the same year that both his novel and movie were coming out, Paleontologists in Montana found a beefier, scarier dromaeosaur that almost perfectly fit the size and description of the movie monster. And it's this crazy coincidence that's always created a sort of problem for me with the idea of introducing Utahraptor into the Jurassic Park canon. How could you? It already exists. Jurassic Park's Velociraptor is such a perfect match for a Jurassic Park-style Utahraptor that you get the problem from the Kenner toy. Introducing a new Jurassic Park Utahraptor is just going to be a slightly larger Velociraptor. Now, the Jurassic Park Raptor has been redesigned more than any other species in the franchise. It's honestly kind of insane. If we expand our Raptor research to more than just the films and include the toy lines and video games as well, it's likely a number somewhere in the hundreds or maybe lower thousands. And I'm pretty glad through all those different iterations, the way Mattel decided to make this toy stand out is not by making it bigger and scarier and just making a raptor the size of an Allosaurus. No, they decided to make it paleo accurate. Boom, there it is. The thing you all fear so much, paleo accuracy. If you want to make a flat earther mad, bring up NASA, and if you want to enrage a Jurassic Park fan, bring up paleo accuracy. They can't stand it. I can more than stand it, however, and I'm gonna run with it. I'm so glad to see the influence of it here. Sure, the pose it's in has been sculpted a little unrealistic, but as far as Jurassic Park and accuracy goes, this is a godsend. Compared to the Kenner one for starters, it's not just a larger Velociraptor. It's got full lips, which is a great detail that even the original Jurassic Park Velociraptors managed to have as well. But immediately more noticeable than that is all that plumage. Hello, friend. Oh, he's gorgeous. Putting on a show with all his fluffy feathers. A hell of a lot better looking than the half-assed plumage on the Dominion Pyroraptor, and genuine light years ahead of whatever the fuck was going on with Quilliam. Oh yeah, by the way, I say f now in these videos. YouTube did the whole COPPA thing with one of my videos recently. It made it just for kids and it deleted all the comments on it, and that made me mad. So now, I say f once per video. I guess we're at 3 now. Wow. It's nice that this Utahraptor looks so drastically different that there's no question in regard to what it's supposed to be. It's got the much stouter body proportions with a thicker, broader tail and a larger, boxier head. In addition, he's got big, broad arms that are much longer and legs that are much stockier and heavier. He's proportioned like the Dromaeosaur's theoretical answer to the evolutionary equivalent of the bear. An animal meant to be large and in charge, who maxed out all their strength stats to the detriment of almost everything else. There's no chance in all of the 5 deaths that this could run or jump anywhere near as effective as the raptor brothers and sisters he has. He is almost entirely devoted to his jaws. Damn it, he's a raptor that evolved his way out of his size class. It's pretty funny. The raptor species is all about maximizing being lightweight and small for hunting tiny prey like mice and bugs. And Utahraptor, he went ahead and maximized strength while minimizing all those other qualities he was supposed to use. It's just silly. I really appreciate the sculpted detail here on this toy. It's super amazing. The feathers are sculpted really well, and on most of the body they've been very finely rendered. It never looks just like, a generic wavy hair sculpting. The shapes of the feathers are very well defined, such as in areas like the neck, arms, and the tail. I want to touch on those arm feathers a little longer. This is one area where the paleo accuracy slips up, and in my opinion, it's pretty noticeable. For one thing, let's list a positive first, okay? I'm gonna be about positives today. A positive is the position of the wrists, which are turned inwards like a real dromaeosaur. But on the other hand, you get it? On the other hand, because we're talking about... Okay. On the other hand, in real dromaeosaurs, as well as most modern birds, the pennaceous arm feathers start on the second finger and continue on down the arm from there. It's not often that you see the feathers go up to the wrist and then just stop, like on this toy. It's more like what's here on this beast of the Mesozoic Dromaeosaurus, where there's this one first finger visible, and the second and third are sort of obscured behind the plumage. Not the biggest thing in the world, and especially not that bad considering that almost everything else on this figure is great. However, the biggest thing in the world might just be this raptor's massive stompers. He's got feet like a Clydesdale's. I feel this is less of an intentional evil scientific inaccuracy on Mattel's part and more that the general aesthetic of this line is very cartoony. That's the overall vibe I get on this toy. Up close, some of the details stand out as wrong, but as a cartoony version of a scientifically accurate Ute, this is pretty good. I really love these rubber teeth in his jaw, they look perfect. I also really like this gloss coat going on in there on the tongue. It works to make the figure feel more alive. Don't know what's going on with the paint on the rest of this guy though. I mean, I do know what's going on. It's budget restrictions. Listen man, this ain't Beast of the Mesozoic, I know. If money weren't a concern, I'm sure these would all have paint like the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. With the budget Mattel had, the attempt is commendable. Just commendable though. Unfortunately, unlike me, his nails are not painted. The lack of paint on the claws on both the hands and the feet is really rough. Plenty of older Mattel Raptors, even ones in smaller price points, had painted claws, and it sucks that the Ute doesn't. I like the idea of having darker skin and brighter plumage, but because Mattel didn't paint the feet or the hands, it looks, well, how should I say? Saying it doesn't look politically correct might be an understatement.
Whoa, is that blackface, dude?
No, this isn't blackface. I'm an actual demon.
Bro, please tell me that's not blackface.
Not cool, man.
No, you don't understand. I'm literally a forest demon from across the bridge. This isn't a costume.
Get the f out, man!
But as I mentioned at the very start of this video, I am in love with his autumnal color scheme. Pumpkin orange and a milk chocolatey brown are perfect color complements, and even if it's just a little tiny dap, I like the accentuating splotch of white under the eye. Just like the previous Mattel figure I talked about, the Distortus Rex, this is another case where I love the color scheme and just really want to see it continued. I think these claws absolutely needed to be painted at a bare minimum, but painting the hands and feet black to match the face is also something I'd really love to take the time to customize and do myself. A bit of dry brushing love here and there, a dark wash or two, and I'm sure this guy would look gorgeous. I'm really tempted to do it myself, but I've got big plans for this figure in the future that will require him to keep his factory colors a little longer. How would you all like a new series? I'm thinking of one called Dino Debate, where I compare all my dinosaur figures of a certain species together. I think a direct comparison of this guy with the Beast of the Mesozoic Utahraptor would be really interesting, because they both try to be scientifically accurate, just, one succeeds a little bit better. Let me know in the comments. Now, there is a gimmick on this guy that I have neglected to mention up until now. He is in fact called the Wild Roar Utahraptor, and I know we'd all be disappointed if he never wild roared. It's simple enough, and I'll shut up so you can hear it. Just push this button on his tail, and... yeah, wow, loud. I usually go through the effort of recording the sound separately on my Zoom recorder and then editing it into the timeline, but here I didn't need to. The onboard camera microphone picks it up more than fine. This toy practically screams at you. It's a good sound effect, but damn if it isn't loud. That button also activates his biting feature, which personally, I'm a bit more taken to than the roar. I might just remove those batteries to have as a snack later, and so I can play with this guy without him rupturing my neighbor's eardrums. This biting feature is excellent. By rotating the tail or turning it side to side, you can turn the neck any which way, which is super cool, and it's got a great range of movement. And uh-oh, I said the word, you know it, do the music, it's movement time. What? Oh, it's posing time. The neck has got the movement I just talked about, up and down and all around, though it is rather unfortunate that it can't keep any of those positions. As soon as you let go, it's gonna bounce back into place. The arms are on one simple joint, there's not even an elbow, but that's sort of fine. The pose they're molded into is great for neutral poses or attacking poses, which you can get using the hinge and swivel that the shoulders are attached on. The thighs rotate, of course, and there's a good amount of movement to them. They both ratchet into place. To round it out, the tail rotates and moves like a ball joint, but of course again, it springs back to its default position as soon as you let go. There is a joint towards the end of the tail, and moving it completely breaks the sculpt, so I'm not sure why it's there in the first place, or when anyone would use it. This articulation is all fine with me. It's a very fun, playable toy, and it's got what's necessary for playtime with a kid. I always naturally prefer when the jaw works the opposite way, always closed and then you push a button to open it, but I get why on a famous carnivore toy they would try to have them teeth out always, because it's, the main exciting thing about the animal. It does scale really well with other Mattel figures, something I'm excited to see it not struggle with. Like I repeated ad nauseum at the start of this video, the Jurassic Park Raptor is pretty much already just a slightly undersized Utahraptor. The temptation to make the Utahraptor vastly oversized to emphasize the difference between them is strong. Here Mattel scaled it very reasonably, almost perfectly when scaled next to a human. I don't have the Beast of the Mesozoic Utah yet, but it seems like this is a very comparable size next to it. He's just about 5 inches tall to the top of his little head and 11 inches long to the end of his plump little fat tail. Because he's short enough to fit on my ruler, I don't even have to guess this time. Size comparison. I've shown it with the other Raptors a lot already, but let's do it some more. Here's the Hammond Collection JP1 Raptor, the Tiger Raptor, and Blue and Ghost. Here's a recent review and another mainline monster, the D-Rex. Okay, alright, I pulled him out, so we may as well have a little fun. Here's one smack. Here he is with Ian Malcolm and, bigger Ian Malcolm. Yeah, okay. And just to top it all off, what the hell, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime in his truck mode. Overall, I'm really happy with this toy. I'm even more happy because I patiently waited till he went on sale, and I got him for only $14 off Amazon. Don't you gotta love it? Out of all the Jurassic World Rebirth figures I've got so far, the easiest recommendation. This is my favorite. Very low cost and very high reward. Really fun giant raptor of a toy, and for a species Mattel waited so long to do, it's been done justice. Whenever Mattel really likes a mold, they're sure to re-release it in new colors like a billion times, so I'm excited to see what happens with this guy in the future. In the meantime, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We've recently crossed 30,000 subscribers this month, and we're well on the road to 40K. I'm sure we can cross that soon, and if everyone watching this video subscribed, I imagine we'd get there instantly. Hint, hint. The idea of going from 1K to 50K in just 1 year is insane, but I believe we can do it. If you really enjoy my videos and don't want the fun to ever stop, make your way over to the Gary the Gremlin community tab. We have a real fun time over there where fans and friends get to post photos of artwork, toys, memes, and whatever else nonsense. You might even make your way into the showcase at the end of this video, but no promises. Alright, I'm Gary the Gremlin, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later.